Welcome to the Good Dude, Good Dad podcast. I'm Jordan.
And I'm Ben, and today's guest is the one and only Jalin Turner.
You get into the tarantula.
I'm going to let him say his name, man.
Jalin Turner, the tarantula.
Let's go.
Dude, I'm excited for today's podcast. I mean, I'm excited for all the podcasts we've been doing together. But specifically for today's, I got to meet Jalin not that long ago in reality, maybe within the last year or so.
It's been about a year.
Yeah. But I met him. We have a mutual friend who I didn't know this, and Nick actually just told me recently how he wanted us to meet for a long time. And he was like, I just didn't know how to do it, like, in a way. He was like, you guys are both so similar, but I don't know how to do it. I want it to be natural. And I was like,
just overthinking it.
Yeah, Nick, like, he's just kind of goofy. But so for me, I'm super pumped. We go to church together, and we've gotten to slowly start doing a little bit more life together. And in the short amount of time I've gotten to know Jalin, I've got to see his character and his personality and kind of who he is. And him and I have been talking more lately about people always see things under the lights, right? Like the reference under the lights. They see you in cages with full arenas. They see all this sponsorship. They see all this cool stuff, but they don't see like the behind the scenes that you go through specifically, but the same crap that we all go through, right? You just are dealing with it on a different level because people put you up on a pedestal. And
like me, like I just met him. I didn't get to tell you this before because I literally just met. But I've been watching your fights like for a while now. And so like I was like low-key kind of fangirling out. He was like, yeah, Jalen's coming. I was like, I think he waited to tell me to the last minute too, so I didn't get all weird. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so
told him
cool.
yesterday.
Ben's like, you should try to fight him. I was like, yeah, okay, yeah.
You didn't show it at all, so I respect that.
I was cool.
Usually we start with a different question, but today we're going to start with something different, and we'll kind of see where we go. But Jalin, for people that don't know, fought on UFC 300. It's supposed to be like the biggest fight card in UFC history, right? If I don't say that wrong. And I kind of wanted you to just talk about what went through 300 for you. And we'll kind of just see where we go.
Man, so 300 was a lot. Yeah, it was one of the biggest cards in UFC history at the time. I felt really, prepared, ready. I felt great for the fight. It was a fight that I wanted. And, get to the fight, go out there and perform great the first round and, have this. I dropped my opponent, and I didn't follow through. Just kind of had like a little moment. My conscience kicked in. Wasn't like really in that like killer instinct zone in that one moment. And man, it definitely it cost me a lot. I was like so close to getting the biggest payday of my life. You know what I mean? Like it was so intense. Like looking back at it, like in the moment, I wasn't really like thinking about that right there. But it was, in retrospect, it was crazy. And then I ended up getting TKO'd, getting finished in the next round, and it was like. Honestly, I was fine. Like he just hit me in my eye, like square in the eye, and that's what really stopped it all. I just really couldn't see, so I was fine. Got up, I was okay. I wasn't really hurt. Like didn't take too much damage. So yeah, it was one of those things, man. It was a bad night in the office. I felt like the promotion really wanted me to win that fight and push me up and boost me up, and it didn't happen that way. So. Yeah, it's one of those situations. It was crappy, man. It was really crappy because, just seeing all the hate after, all the, like everybody talking, all this noise, all this drama, and just everybody just saying so much. Like I was just like the whole world was against me. And then, man, I had like personal stuff happening too. Like everything got really intense. Everything got really intense, and. I know it's my job. Like I know it's like stuff I've set up for. I've set up to put my life on that scale and to be a public eye. But since it was such a big card, it was so historic. The promotion did believe in me so much. I just felt like I let so much down, and it was really hectic. It was really hard for me. I was probably, like I said, that was the hardest loss I've ever had in my life. That was probably the lowest point I've been in my life in a long time. And yeah, it was so much unfolded. I don't even, I'm just now starting to like get out of that hole, you know, like I see my psychiatrist right after, you know, like I was like, I just got off social media. I went to Big Bear, like went to a cabin, like just tried to like just reconnect with everything that was really meaningful to me and my kids. And, you know, my fiance, I ended up getting engaged during this time, you know? So, you know, there's like good things that happened out of this. Cause like had I not lost that fight, she wouldn't have stayed with me, and then she would have just flew back. So, you know, I guess like there's like silver linings in everything. And even the way like the engagement happened was like really like, it's like wild. So that's a story for another podcast.
Yeah.
Put like a marriage story or something. But but yeah, it was all intense, you know. And you know, I had some stuff happen, just family stuff happen, man.
Right.
So much happened after this fight, man. So much, you know. And like I want to be open, I want to be vulnerable and open up about like some of the family stuff that happened, but I'm just, you know, I don't think I'm ready to like really like open up that can of worms. But yeah, man, it's intense. You know, I go through everything like everybody else does. You know, it's just like I said, it's just the world can see what's going on. You know, it's not just tight knit in my family. Like I'm not just affected by one thing. I'm affected by the public eye. You know, anybody can like go search my social media up, or fight fans can come talk crap to me. You know, it's like open access. And as easy as it is to just like turn off social media and disconnect, like it's still like a lot of heavy energy that goes on with it. And you put all this pressure on yourself because it's like, you know, to be that close to success, you know, and literally just like slip on an ice cube during the performance. It's like, wow, you know, it's crazy. But yeah, man, I just had to like really like reconnect and like just figure out like what God really wanted me to do and like what direction I was supposed to be in. Because like even before this fight, like I've had like shaky feelings about fighting, you know, and I just don't know what other avenue I would go like in my life. So that's why I keep fighting. But you know, I still have a passion for it, but I've done it for like 11 years now. You know, it's kind of like, yeah.
I think something I want to circle back to, because dude, it was so fun. I felt myself getting so protective like of you. Not that you need me to protect you, you know, but just because like I could care less if you were a fighter, a janitor. Like you're still gonna be my boy, you know what I mean? Like I don't care about that. But once like, oh, dude, after the fight, and then the stupid speech after, I was like, bro, you get out of here, bro. Like 9 out of 10 times, like get out of here. And now you want to grab the mic and pull like a, you know, it's trying to pull the Conor McGregor, right? Like
Ben was heated. I was there because I was at his house watching the fight, and it was like, yeah, Ben was like,
dude, I would have freaking jumped in and tried to punch him right there.
Man, and you know, like that's another thing too. You know, like he was really respectful after the fight, but like just all that, like I like the talk, man, like to lose to that is like, that's what really bothers me. You know, he's a good martial artist. I give him that. He was a better man that night, you know, but I do feel like I'm better. And I'm telling you, like, I don't fully understand. Like I can equate it to the Bobby Green fight. You know, my conscience kicked in because I didn't want to follow up, you know, like I had some compassion in this fight, and I'm just like where did this come from? You know, like knowing like, you know, if I lose, like it's gonna be this kind of crazy like post-fight speech. You know, it's just so much that entails into the situation. I'm just like, it is what it is. You know, like, it sucks, but like the only person that like I have to deal with it at the end of the day. You know,
Yeah,
right.
Well, and that's what I think was bothering me so much was all the stupid keyboard warriors out there that wanted to be like, oh my gosh, trying to have like a fancy walk-off knockout. I'm like, dude, you can clearly tell he was not showboating. You were not showboating. Like you literally hit him. I watched it probably like 30 times. I'm sure you have too, but you literally hit him, and you go like you almost turn like you're gonna walk towards like the corner, like give him his space type thing, and he gets up and you look at the ref almost like oh shoot, like. And in that moment, just because I understand, a lot of people understand, but clearly you can see, especially if they know you, you can see literally you froze because of the Bobby Green fight and just prior fights to that. And I could be speaking wrongly, but just from being around you, I literally was like, oh, he froze because he didn't want to hurt the guy again. Because you got you got the keyboard warriors came at you for the Bobby Green fight. You hit them too much or blah, blah, you were doing your job. And at the same time, that wasn't on you. That was on the ref, right? Like, but then, you hit somebody too much and then now you don't hit them and now you can't win, right? But you see it. And I think that's one thing that triggered me so much was there's so much that athletes, that veterans, that law enforcement, first responders, people go through mentally that you just don't get if you haven't experienced anything like that, right? And so when I saw it, I recognized it right away. And you and I had not even talked about it, but I like recognized it. I saw it. I saw like the look in your face. I saw your eyes. I saw your body demeanor kind of just stop. It wasn't a, oh my gosh, this guy's trying to showboat. I was like, I think that's one thing that pissed me off so much. And anyways, I'm saying all that because I think there has been such a stigma for mental health and stuff like that. Not that I'm saying you have mental health, but like PTSD and going through traumatic things, whether you're a fighter or not, like that's a real thing. And you did have compassion. And it's hard because it's your job, right? And probably so many people probably tell you like how to justify it. But for every single person, it's going to be different. And for you, I think it would be awesome for you to speak towards how you're dealing with that now.
Shoot. Man, honestly, I don't know how I'm fully dealing with it. I'm just, I think about it. I called Wonder Boy. I asked Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. I was like, yo, like, how do you, like, being a man of faith, like, how do you like go in there and perform and like not go in there with this mindset to like go kill somebody, because that's literally that's been my mindset. Like before I came back to my faith and everything, I've just been like, all right, I'm gonna go. It's like you or me. Like I gotta kill you, like I gotta go risk my life, So, like just me opening my heart and like just trying like being more like Christ-filled, Christ-centered. It's it weighs heavy on me because like at the end of the day, I really don't want to hurt anybody, But I've always been like that, I've always been a really laid back, chill, nice guy. But like when it's time to fight, I really turn it off. Like I really go to like this just dark realm and trying not to go to that like faith-based wise and trying to just look at it as a sport and like reset my whole mind. It's an adjustment. So pretty much Wonderboy was telling me like just look at it as a sport. He said he's been doing it for a long time. He's like his objective is to go. He wants to be the best martial artist. So the only way to know that you're the best is to go compete against the best.
Right.
And I was like, wow, like that makes sense. Like it's more noble if you look at it that way. And like I try to look at it that way too. But like when it's time to fight, it's like I gotta go kill him. I gotta go. Like it's them or me. So I won't fully know the mental adjustment until I get in the gym, until I have like a couple hard sparring sessions, see where I'm at, and and then honestly, ultimately, until I go perform again, until I go under the lights again. So, it's just been just baby steps. Honestly, I've just been disconnecting. I haven't even thought about fighting. Somebody brought up like a fight with Max Holloway. I was like, oh yeah, that'd be cool, that'd be exciting. But like honestly, I'm chilling right now. You know? I'm really chilling.
Yeah. Dang. The mental component is a trip. I think it makes everything, being a Christian is hard. Being a Christian is so freaking hard, right? Because of things like this. Like if you didn't have your faith, no problem. Go in there, kill the dude, get out, get paid, right?
Yep.
But choosing the path of having faith and knowing that there is more to life is such a difficult decision. It's something we have to make every day. As like a business owner, there's things that I let slide that I probably shouldn't, but at the end of the day, I look at the person, I'm like, dang, dude, like, I got to give him another chance. I got to do this. I got to do that. But in reality, I should have just been like, dude, you're fired. Get out. So I think something that is also a unique perspective for you, and I don't know if it's something anyone's ever said, but if you look throughout biblical history, like there's been violence forever. And I think that's some of the things that people have an issue with Christianity, right? Like if your God's so powerful, why does he allow X, Y, and Z? It's not that he allows it. We have free choice and free will, right? But if you look at it from the perspective of your job, and a way to maybe kind of help cross that bridge between killing and a job would maybe be just like, again, throughout biblical history, like there's been warriors, there's been heart of a warrior, there's, you know, the spirit of lions, and like the Lion of Judah and stuff like that. And I have a lion on my arm. But if there's a way that can help you kind of cross that bridge and bridge the gap of, yeah, it is my job, and you can still go out and compete as hard as you freaking want, right? Like in business, it's your business. So in business, if I want to be the best that I can be, there's going to have to be times where I potentially put somebody down to get up, right? Not like in a derogatory way, but I'm going to have to step on top of you so I can bypass you. And in fighting, maybe it's like that same thing. But that's hard because I'm not a fighter.
I mean, yeah, I mean, the way I kind of saw it, it was funny because when I found out that you went to Ben's church, I was like, dude, how sick is that he has this like incredible platform that if he so chooses, like you don't have to, but he gets to glorify God with it. And I was like, you know, how many people have that kind of opportunity? It's very, very, very few. And it's, I was like, after the fight, Ben shared a little bit of what you were going through with me. And I was like, it was funny. I was like, dude, I just started praying for you. Like legitimately, I was like, dude, God has such a big calling and a purpose and a plan on his life, because in those gnarly moments like that, like that's how you know, how do I put this? I'm not going to say you're not going to go through hard stuff if God doesn't have a calling for you, but I feel like when God has a specific calling on your life, it seems like sometimes it's like 10 times harder to get to where you need to be because of the backing that you have, you know? And it's like, you know, this could be such a killer stepping stone of how, like, now you're having to rely more on God, or now you're having to, you know, change the way that you fight. Now you have to change, like, your mental aspect of it. Dude, I have no doubt in my mind that once you finish processing all this, you're going to come back, if you choose to, 10 times stronger, 10 times more mentally capable, 10 times more mentally fit, 10 times a better dad, 10 times a better fiance. Like, because you never, like, the toughest moments in your life are when you grow the most. Like, I've never become a better father than when I almost died. And I was like, that's why this whole thing started, you know? Like, I literally was like, dude, like, life can go just like that. And now it's like, okay, how do I reframe my mindset so that I'm taking advantage of every little opportunity that God's given me? And it completely changed my life. I know that. So the loss sucked, but I was like on the other side of it. Like, once that happened, I was like, dude, I'm so excited for Jalin, like, to come out on the other side and see how, like, 10 times stronger he's going to be. And, like, even now I watch you as you're talking about it and, like, how you're processing it in your brain. Like, I already know that you're making the mental steps to, whether you chose to fight or not, like, you're going to be 10 times a better man on the back end of this, which is cool to see. That's more of just like a comment, not really a question, but yeah.
No, yeah.
I rambled, I know.
No, that was awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you for the prayers too. Honestly, like, that being said, you know, like, when I started my, like, 5-fight win streak, you know, I was so deep in the world. I was like partying after every fight, drinking like crazy, you know. And I think it was around the year that I stopped drinking. I stopped drinking before the Gamrot fight. And yeah, that's when I lost, you know. And then it's just been up and down since.
Yeah. And
it's been so much more spiritual battles, honestly. Like, it's just been so intense. And it's also because, like, now, you know, you have way more consciousness of what's right from wrong, or what you would deem right from wrong. So it's like that pull is just it's way more intense. But yeah, you're right though. I do have a better backing, you know, having God back me in this whole situation, and it's not supposed to be easy. You know, I've learned through every hurdle and obstacle and trial I've been through. Even before, like, I came to my faith, I was like, okay, like, God had my back with this. Like, I can, like, look back and see where he had his hand in my life still. And yeah, I'm still grateful for it. And, you know, the road's not going to be easy, but I'm still going to stay the course.
I think that's that's the most powerful thing, is knowing, and I don't want to quote it because I don't want to butcher it, but to paraphrase is, like, God's not going to give us the keys to the kingdom unless we're like ready for it, right? I forget how it goes, but there's an actual saying for it. But the way I can like relate it to non-Christians is, if my 15-year-old kid just got their permit and I have a Ferrari, I'm not going to let him drive the Ferrari, right? He's got to learn how to drive whatever, my Toyota Land Cruiser first, right? Like, it's learning and growing, and obviously, like, God has a plan for everything, whether we want to accept it, whether we want to believe it, whether we choose to try to live it or fight it. That's a different story, but he has a map, and we're just, following it or not following it. And I think for you, because you said it, and it was like when we were filming Fight Camp, but you said a couple of times where, you weren't living in your faith, you were living in the world. And during those times, things seem so awesome, right? Things are so easy. Like, you were on win streaks, and you're getting paid, and you're doing whatever you want to doing with whoever you're wanting to do it with because you could. And it always makes us wonder, like, why are there people out there that have all this awesome stuff, but they're freaking crap people, or they don't have like their faith in God or whatever? And it's in those moments where I've asked myself that, when it compares, like when I start comparing myself to other business owners, I'm like, that's why I'm not where those people are, because I'm not ready to handle that. And even if I don't ever get it, that's okay too. Like, I have my faith in Jesus. I have a beautiful family. I have a lot of things that most people don't, like, and I'm cool with that. But I had to learn that over the last 14 years, so many different times in so many different ways where I was like, I can do this. Like, God, come on, step aside. Just watch me work,
I still do that. I get slapped around.
Oh, that's so funny. But going back to UFC 300 as well, as you said you had to check out, and we were kind of just talking a little bit about this off air, but my wife posted a video recently, and is getting like the little keyboard warriors, and it's just so funny to me that we live in a generation where all these people can talk, and they just talk. But even if they were 100 yards away from you, around the corner from you, there's no way in this planet 99% of them would have the balls to say anything, right? And so, again, dude, I found myself being so protective of you. Like, there's even times like I commented on someone's comment, and I was like, what am I doing, dude? Like yeah, like in my head I'm like, oh yeah, I'm defending Jalin, but you don't need it. And at the same time, it's like, this freaking ignorant person isn't gonna get anything from it. And how do you, especially after this one, because I feel like this was the biggest stage, right? So you're gonna get the most hate. How do you just like mentally like handle it? Because it wasn't even me, and yeah, we're friends, but dude, I wanted to fly through my freaking phone a couple of times and like strangle somebody. And so it's like, how the heck are you right now dealing with that? Because it's still not that long away, but you still have trolls. Like, you'll post something now and they'll still troll you, and I'm like, dude, I want to bash.
And then that'll be the same person that when you win your next time, be like, I always believed in you.
Definitely.
Yeah, dude.
It's honestly, it's a process, dude. Because like when I first got to the UFC, and like especially after I started winning, like everybody was talking about my losses. I would comment to everybody that was hating. I'd be like, yo, like what, like just trying to like portray that I'm this like good dude, Mm-hmm. And I was just be like, sometimes it would work, sometimes they just get even more heated. So most of the time, people just want to be replied to, and like, I was just like, why am I giving all these people my energy? Why am I taking the risk or chance to put negative energy into them, or even try to put my good energy into their negative? Like why? And yeah, that's what helps me like just disconnect. I just look at it like I look at the internet, I look at my phone, like the bad comments is like negative thoughts. Like, am I gonna address this negative this thought in my head on this negative comment, or am I just gonna let it pass and just let it go?
I had a really good podcast actually this morning I was listening to, and they were talking about that exact same thing. He's a like really successful business guy. He's like, you know what? Hate has never come from anyone that's doing better than you. Like, they're never gonna be doing that. He's like, so one of the ways that he was talking about how he deals with it, he's like, honestly, a lot of times I just ignore it because he's like, I know that sounds stupid. I know it sounds ridiculous. He's like, but like, in all honesty, like, are they where I want to be? He's like, no. So why does their opinion matter? Like, you know, but
Exactly.
I mean, it's easy to say on the back end because like we were just talking about the comments that were made about your wife's video, and my wife was like losing her freaking mind, like finding people's addresses, like about to take care of like she was going full Godfather mode, and I was like, okay, you need to chill first of all. But yeah, I mean, it's easier said than done. But it's I don't know,
Dude, it's freaking hard.
it's hard.
Well, you know,
That's what I'm just trying to say. I think I'm trying to get too technical. It's just hard.
when I was walked into the shop, they all could tell something was bothering me, and it was because I was trying to look for some of the comments, like right before I walked in.
Oh, that
so I
makes
was
so
irritated.
much sense.
I walked in and all these guys were like, "What the heck's wrong with you?" I was like, "I'm just tired." But I was literally trying to find a specific comment because I was just like so irritated that I don't know what I was gonna say. I don't know what triggered it. Something I heard on the drive in just like triggered something in my mind where I went to like, you know, like Papa Bear, and I couldn't find the comment, so I was more irritated. I think Devin might have erased it or something, but I was like trying to find it, and so dude, it put me in such a bad mood. And I'm saying that because it's like, dude, I give you so much props for being able to just unplug the way you did. I was talking to your fiance at church, and we were talking. I don't know if she ever told you this, but we were talking. I was like, "Hey, is he on his phone?" And she's like, "No," and I was like, "All right, don't let him." Like, you know,
Yeah.
like I literally was like, "Don't let him." She's like, "Yeah, I know," and I already know you know all this, but like I said, I don't know, man. The
not a
people that
bad
are in my
thing.
circle, I'm like, I get so protective,
Yeah.
and I was like, just don't let him be on his phone. And she's like, no, he knows, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. She was one of the reasons why I got off my phone so much. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I still get heated, and it wasn't even me. But I think to kind of relate all of this back to like the good dude, good dad kind of like motto that we're trying to do is it sounds simple and it sounds cheesy and it sounds cliche because there's a lot of people doing it, but we've talked a little bit about it like off air and stuff, but our whole goal for what we're doing and why Jordan invited me on is to try to break the stigma of like this egotistical male, right? Like you can be a rough and tough dude, you could be a quote unquote badass, you could be a UFC fighter, you could be a Marine veteran, you could be, I mean, Jordan's gone through a lot of stuff, you know, he was a first responder and dealt with a lot of like trauma that way.
I'm just a little
Almost
guy, you know.
died from a stroke. Like you can have all these different things in life and have this persona because of what we were raised and what we think of, oh, like you just shake it off, which is cool. Yeah. Or we could try to figure out a way to encourage each other and uplift each other. And I genuinely believe that the world would be so much better of a place with better males, better male role models, better fathers, better single dudes, just better like being men, you know, and being a real man and standing on what that means. And that's our whole goal with this. But I say all that to say, with your platform and what you go through on a daily basis with like fighting and training and wins and losses and what could have been, like, how do you relate and use some of that as being a good dude and a good dad?
Well, shoot. Based off the last fight, I was being a good dude because I let my conscience kick in. You know, like I literally didn't want to continue to hurt the guy. You know, like, and honestly, like I guess it just showed my heart, my character. You know, when I don't turn it off, like that's what it became. And honestly, like being a good dad, dude, I've always just wanted to be a good dad. You know, I never really had like a solid like father figure all the time. You know, my dad left when I was young, so that just already wired my brain and motivated me to want to be an amazing dad. I was like, I'm not ever going to leave my kids, you know. So that was what that was. And it's been a process, you know. I haven't, you know, I know I've made mistakes with my children. You know, I'm not the perfect dad, but I still try. You know, I'm still there. I still try to be very attentive. And I just think a lot of the life circumstances that I've went through have molded me to be the dad that they need and to recognize the things that they need and to work on myself and to heal my own little traumas and the things that I was dealing with, you know, like abandonment issues from my dad not being there, you know, like all these, like being really frustrated and snappy. And I was like, why am I like this? Like, where did all this come from? So, yeah, I really figured a lot of things out as just being a father in general, you know, and I really try to be attentive to my children, you know, I always try to be there for them. I always try to make sure they're good, you know, because parenting isn't just, especially as a father, it's not just being there. It's not just providing, you know, it's not like they want to spend time. Like they need like mental stimulation. They need to be played with, you know, you have to like literally spiritually be there for them. You can't just be like, oh, okay, I'm here, you know, because it's not enough at the end of the day. Man, it's a lot. And, you know, I just love being a dad, you know, I love it. Like I love the process. I love kids, man. Specifically my own kids.
Yeah. Well, and I've got to see that with you, and it's so fun because our kids love playing with each other at church and stuff. But I mean, your kids are here with us right now, and a lot of people like you said, dads, moms too. But I feel like again the stigma of like, oh no, my kids stay at home. I'm gonna go do my thing. My wife or my whatever baby mama they'll handle it. But that's not like you said, not being like a true father.
Yeah, I take my kids there. I love the fact that I have a job that I do because I take them with me to the gym, or if I have a training camp, they're with me. Like they're homeschooled, always with me. Like anywhere I go, like they're with me.
Yeah.
You know, and like I'm blessed to have the opportunity with them. So I take full advantage of it.
It was cool getting to watch you for the first few minutes, like when they were here and they showed up, and I can tell that like you're very intentional about being a dad. After the UFC fight, when you're like, you know, you're getting engaged, all this different stuff is going on. Are you sharing any of that like stuff with your kids? Were you kind of explaining what you were going through? Did you feel like snappy at all at them, or like how did you like turn off from what you were going through and like also be there with your kids?
They were there with me.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was me. It was me, them, my fiance, and we went up to Big Bear. We spent like a few days up there in a cabin, just went out, and they were there, and it was just me, her, and the kids when I proposed. You know, like I feel like that's how it should have been. Like if it wasn't like all of the family, then there's no family, then it's just the people that mattered the most in that moment. You know, so that's how it all unfolded, and yeah, I just got back to reality. You know, and just that's what really means. Like that's my world. You know.
Mm-hmm. That's the coolest part, and that's what life's about, man. It's not all this other crap that we want it to be, right?
100%.
Our kids don't care if you're the world champ, right? They don't care if I own 15,000 coffee shops. They don't care if you process $500 billion worth of credit cards. Like they don't care about any of that. They care about our attention and how we give it to them. And we had a guy that came on a little bit ago. I might butcher it. You said it in one of the episodes, but he said something. Do you know what I'm trying to say? What Hollow said? He said, I'm a new dad every single day.
I like that.
And I was like, oh, he's our age, right? He's got kids our age, or our kids' ages. And I was like, oh, shoot. Like, that's really cool. Like, I would have never thought of it like that. Like, we are a new dad every day. There's going to be new challenges, new issues, new keyboard warriors, new everything, you know? But, dude, I just wanted to say, like, I have loved being able to just, like, get to know you more, see your character, see who you are. And I'm stoked that you're starting to talk about it, dude, because the second we stop fighting for what we know is what we want is when we let the enemy win in every way. Like, whether I'm talking about the enemies of the public for you, you know, obviously the devil tries to weasel his little punk ass in there, but he tries to do all that stuff. But at the end of the day, the longer we let these things control us, like, it wins, right? So you like deciding to like get out and start talking about it and sharing, like, dude, you got a lot to offer people outside of the freaking UFC, right? And maybe someone listening to this will like get something from what you're saying. Like, you hit like probably one of your all-time lows after that fight.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And here you are, like, owning it, right? You're not running from it. You're not doing any of that. You're starting to you're processing. You're talking about it. And I think for me, like I selfishly just really wanted Jalin to be able to come on here and just be like, dude, I wasn't trying to be a showboat. Like I already knew that. Not that you owe people anything, but it just made me so mad. Like,
yeah, that definitely wasn't the case. No, I wasn't trying to showboat.
No,
and it's even funny because like something like that happened before with Herb, where he like halfway stepped in and then he let the fight continue. So it's like I think this is the first fight he's reffed for me since that fight. So,
oh, really?
Yeah. So it's like, you know, but it is what it is. You know, I'm owning it.
Yeah.
I'm owning it. I'm dealing with it. I'm dealing with it in a healthy way. I haven't spiraled out of control. I've been going to church. I've been in my book. I've been reading. I've been talking to my psychiatrist. I've been trying to be healthy and attentive with my children. You know, I don't have time to sit and drink alcohol like I used to, or go numb the void of being out in a club and partying. You know, like if that's your thing, cool. But that's not the healthiest way to do it. You know, so I really have like come full, like just a full 180, you know, like, and looking back, like I'm actually pretty proud of myself, like how I processed all this and how I've come through it, because like it really got bad, like mentally super low. I was talking to people, asking for help, seeking help, you know, like just trying to be like, just get mentally healthy, you know? And yeah, I wasn't afraid to like reach out to people. Like I wasn't afraid to be vulnerable. Like it was hard. You know, my fiance helped me a lot, and yeah, you know, now the light is shining bright again. You know, it's just we as men we go through hard times. You know, it's not always about bottling it up and trying to be this tough guy and just like how society's always like, oh, you just got to handle this. Like, nah, dude, like men take things on the chin. Like we take a lot, you know, and it's like we need a place to unplug. We need someone to disconnect to. Like we need like. Even if you're a teenager, you know, like, and you hear this, like, just understand, like, when you grow up, like, you need people to talk to you. Like, you need people that are going to be there for you mentally. And you're going to go through things that you don't understand, and it's going to suck, and it's going to, you know, it's going to hurt. But you can't just sit there, bottle it up, and think, like, oh, it's just going to go away. You know, you have to handle your problems. You have to handle your problems head on. And it's okay to, like, take a little bit of time, sit, and disconnect, and then come back and reprocess it. But don't run away from it, you know? Like, you can't.
Yeah.
I heard one of the biggest lies in life is that you're alone in this process. Like that you're the only one that's feeling that you're the only one that's going through that, like a struggle like that mentally. And it's one of like the biggest separators that the devil uses is just trying to isolate us and make us feel, the more isolated we feel, the more we can't grow and we can't help other people. And so like, it's so cool the fact that you're sharing all this, because, you know, you're showing that you took the necessary steps to be vulnerable to share, and it, you know, hopefully will encourage somebody else that's like, hey, I'm going through maybe not the exact same thing, but something similar where I just feel like I'm in like the darkest point of it and I just don't know how to get out. And it's like, well, if Jalin can do it, maybe I can do it, you know, kind of a thing. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited to see like what's going to come after this for you. I think it's going to be so rad. I hope like I get to witness more of it, and like more of your journey, and like, I don't know, man, I'm just stoked. I'm stoked.
I appreciate it.
Jalin, you're the man.
Yeah. Seriously.
I appreciate you guys.
Bro.
Thank you for having me on. This has been awesome.
Yeah. Obviously, if you want to reach out to him, he's pretty active with responding, stuff like that, but we'll tag him in the bio and all that stuff. But I just think it's important. We're going to say it so much that you'll probably get annoyed with it. It doesn't matter if we have a guest or if it's just an episode with us, but we're doing this because we genuinely want people to get something from it. Like, I'm not doing this to hear my own voice. I actually hate my voice.
Same.
So,
Same.
you know, and we're super busy and have lives. And the goal, literally, like I said, man, is to try to like just make the world a little better of a place in the smallest way we can, and to share experiences and journeys and stories that can help each other. And dude, I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Of course.
Keyboard warriors, back off. I'm just kidding. But anything else?
Nah, man, I think
No?
that's it. You got anything?
All right. Another good episode.
Let's go.
Let's go.